Good evening. Good evening. Yes, it is Q Parker joining us for today's NNPA Black Press USA's Fire program. Q, how you doing?
All is well on this end. How about you?
I'm doing good. Now, I like that hat. It says "Born Again." I like that.
Absolutely. Well, actually, this is my own brand. I started it about 2.5 years ago, and it's just a constant reminder to me and those that rock the Born Again apparel, not to be afraid to show your faith on your chest, on your head, or on your back. We have a full apparel line, bornagainculture.com.
Okay, that is pretty interesting. Now, that's something, Q, that I didn't have on my list to say about you.
Uh,
So, obviously, something happened in your life, your connection, that made you decide to do that. Can we kind of talk about how that, we know that you're from 112. We're going to get into all the good stuff about that. But since I asked you about the hat, what made you say, let's do this?
Well, some years ago, I had to do like a soul searching, and during this time now, I grew up Kojic. I grew up Church of God in Christ, so far as all I know is just church, 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 church. But I believe during your spiritual journey, sometimes you have to just do a rebirth, and rededicate and recommit, and that's what I had to do about 10 years ago. And during that time, I had to rededicate my life, rededicate my relationship with Christ. And being born again was something that I really wanted to be proud of, and so that was the start of this apparel journey, bornagainculture.com. And again, we have from hats to hoodies to sweatsuits, t-shirts, sweatshirts, socks, you name it. We have the apparel. Just really saying, not being afraid to be proud of where you are spiritually.
So, how have your fans or the public responded to your brand, Born Again?
I think they've responded very well. We have a lot of customers, we have a lot of clients, a lot of people that are proud of the Born Again apparel line. And if you know me, you should know that I'm like a hybrid. I am a church boy, but I'm also an R&B, part of an R&B iconic legendary group. And so I believe that I can live in both worlds. I believe I've been called to such a mission to show that you can live in both of these worlds and do it at a level that does not compromise who you are as a mature grown man. And so I may be one of the few, but I know that I'm one of those that can, you'll see me Saturday night hosting something in the club, but then you'll also see me on the praise team and in the pulpit on Sunday morning, leading praise and worship, or just being very active in my church
So,
organization. So yeah, I think they receive it well, because it's not far fetched, because the moment that everybody was introduced to me and my group, they knew the story was we're all four church boys.
so let me ask you this question because you are from Atlanta, you're the
Yes.
Bible Belt. So, what type of criticism do you get from the gospel or from religious leaders about being in both worlds? Because there's always a saying. There's always where you have to choose. So,
Yes.
have you had any pushback from that?
Well, absolutely, I did. And early on in my career, when we decided to take the record deal that Puffy presented to us, it caused a lot of pushback in my immediate family as well as my church family. Growing up Kojic, it's a very small community, very small church, so everybody knows each other, everybody is family. And so when I decided to be a part of 112 and take on the record deal, it was considered secular music and the devil's music. And so, yes, a lot of my church family did pushback, which is, when I think about my journey, this is what caused me to do this project that I just am releasing, called the Bridge Project, because I needed to blend these worlds and show that um, although you may come from one side, I believe that God gave us the gift, and as long as we use that gift to edify Him, then who are you to tell me that I cannot use a gift that God gave me? God is love, so why can't I sing about love? And so I honestly welcome those people that question, how can I be in the club on Saturday and then in on the praise team on Sunday? Because I serve a God who don't judge, only people judge. So I'll let you do that, but to show that I'm not the only one that feels this way, 55 guys decided to be a part of this bridge project to show that, these worlds are so they're so much similar that people give them credit for. If you ask any R&B guy who their favorite songs are, artists are, they're going to mention some gospel artists. And you can't tell me that every gospel artist all listen to gospel music. They are fans of R&B guys too. And so this bridge project was to knock down that wall, tear down that wall that has continually separated for years these two genres, gospel and R&B. And so that's what the Bridge Project um, was designed to do. And like I said, 55 guys that are part of this collaborative album aligned themselves with me in pushing that objective and that statement.
Now, you also, if I can add to that, because it's more than just that, you also have your Q Parker Legacy Foundation. Can we talk a little bit
Yes,
about that? And it actually has Brother United of Atlanta, Couples United of
yes,
Atlanta, and Sisters United of Atlanta.
yes. So about 9 years ago, again, everything happened during this time of really dedication and recommitment to my family and as a father and all of that. And so I saw that my inability to make sound, mature decisions in my youth, how it affected every aspect of my family. And so when I created the Q Parker Legacy Foundation, I wanted our mission to serve every aspect of the family. And so this is why we have Brothers United of Atlanta, which is our men's forum, a safe space for men to come and motivate, encourage, and just love and support each other. And then my wife has Sisters United of Atlanta, which is it's the same, but it's just women. Together we had Couples United, which is our relationship and marriage kind of therapy community. And then I have Youth United of Atlanta, which is my co-ed summer camp and mentoring program. And then at the end of the year, we do an initiative for the senior citizens community. And so again, our
Oh,
mission is to impact every aspect of the family component. And we've been doing it in Atlanta for 9 years. And we're impacting so many people, children, men, women, senior citizens, couples, those that are engaged in relationships. So I know that is what I've been called to do. That is, what my life's work is. And this second phase of my life is committed to.
so Q, when you talk about reaching out to Black men or young Black men, your Brothers United of Atlanta, what do you find to be the most common question that they ask when they get into the group, or they're concerned about, or they need help with?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't say that it's a question, but every man pretty much shows up with a wall, and they show up as their representative and not them.
Oh,
And so
wow.
the first thing we ask is, and we say that this is a place, it's a safe space, it's a safe haven. There's no judgment. Uh, Nobody's gonna look at you crazy. Leave all your letters and initials and all of that stuff out of the window, because right now you're just a brother, just like I am. And it don't matter how much money I make or you make or what side of the tracks you come from. As men, we're dealing with the same things. And so the one thing we have to do is get men from disconnecting from those stereotypes and those stigmas that says that men can't be vulnerable, men got to be tough and rough all the time. But some of our biggest attributes are when we are sensitive and when we are vulnerable, because a part of who we are is to be lovers and to be affectionate and delicate and all of those things. Being tough does not define you as a man. And so I would find that that is the biggest thing, that and the biggest hurdle we have to get across to the men, letting them know that this is a space where you can be trusted, that you can trust, and we're not going to judge you. And when that happens, then the healing starts to happen. Then they're beginning to be open, because a lot of times men internalize things and are afraid to just speak. And so our platform and our forum is to just get you to open your mouth, man, and just be your most authentic self. And because when you're that way, now the healing and then the support can really, really be given to you.
How often do you meet, Brothers of Atlanta?
So every Monday morning we have a motivational meditation and prayer call at 8 o'clock on Zoom, and then once a month we meet virtually
Sure.
to talk about our foundational pillars. And every month we have a keynote speaker, an
Oh,
expert to lead our sessions in the areas of health, wealth, social, spirituality, and fatherhood. because of COVID, we haven't been able to continue our regular in-person meetings. So we've
Sure.
been doing the virtual meetings, and we have a nice group of men, over about 200 men,
Wow.
not just in Atlanta. We're talking about branching out and establishing some charters in other parts of the world. And so our mission is just to reach as many men as possible, because I believe that when men are able to operate at optimum level, everybody benefits. Our women benefit, our children benefit, the community benefits. And so Brothers United is really, really something I'm committed and connected to.
How can someone reach out to you? Because as you know, this program is virtual, so it's anywhere in the world. How can
Yes,
someone reach out to you? Maybe they want to start a chapter in their community.
absolutely. Our social media platforms are Brothers United ATL on all social media. Our website is brothersunitedatl.org, or you can just go through our foundation website, Q Parker Legacy Foundation .org, and send us an email with whatever your interests are. And we have people around the clock, responding to emails, and we'll get any information you need to you.
So now, are your members from all walks of life, or they're performers like you too, wanting to
All
give back?
walks of life. Again, none of that matters. We welcome everybody. We welcome all, no matter who you are, what type of job you have, uh, because manhood is that key component that we have to have a serious foundation, and you understanding why you were called to this word manhood, and what job you have, how much money you make. None of that really matters at that point. We got to peel back so many of these generational, ancestral, historical layers in order to just get to your authentic self. So when you enter into one of our sessions, none of that stuff matters. None of that stuff matters. We trying to help you get to optimum level through love and support
I
and
love hearing that.
dialogue.
You mentioned the pandemic, and I know it's affecting everyone, not just people here in the United States. So your
Mhm.
group, specifically talking of Brothers United of Atlanta, how are how are you helping them deal with the issues that I'm sure are coming with people not getting money? I mean, not
Yeah,
making any money. They can't find work. I'm not saying all your members are that way, but I'm sure
right.
someone in their family or someone they know is dealing with out having income right now.
You know, in addition to what's going on with COVID, this is just this is a concern with pre pre-COVID, and it will be even after COVID, post-COVID. The mental state of the man is very, very important. So that's always our target. How are you mentally? Are you mentally healthy? Then you add on the layers of the stress from COVID and not having a job or loss of income, not knowing how you're going to provide for your family. Do you now go and get assistance from the government when you never have had to do that? And
Sure.
so now that is that's compounded to all the other stuff that I spoke about earlier, the generational stuff, the hang of that, the abandonment issues, the no father in the household issues, the lack of mentors, all of those things are why this is important, and they play a key part to just where you are mentally. So, like I said, before COVID, that's always been our target, to make sure that mentally you're healthy. I don't care what you look like on the outside. I don't care what you dress.
Right.
None of that. Where's your mind, and how are you mentally? And like I said, when you add COVID's effect, it just
Yeah.
now intensifies it and raises it a couple of levels, which means we have to even do more and more work to make sure our men are healthy mentally.
So what are some of the things that you do with the youth group that you have?
Oh my God! So I'm the mentoring part of Brothers United of Atlanta. We've adopted some schools. One of our biggest schools is Kip Stride Academy, which is a middle school in Atlanta, 5 through 8. And just constantly being there. We visit the school periodically, just to make sure that we are staying in contact with the young men whenever they're having events at the school. We're always making sure that we are there. And because one of the things that we realize, some of these young men needs time, and they need consistency, and that's what we try to provide. We also do an annual Sankofa father-son brunch, And we don't turn away those that are not in a father-son relationship. It may be uncle and nephew. It may be, man of the community who lives next door to a young man who doesn't have an active father. But at that event, we are just highlighting men in the community that are doing some great things, but also highlighting the young men, and preparing them to being able to have a great chance of being successful as a man. I always say that it matters not that they have the tools, but also the wisdom to know which tool to use at the appropriate time. So that's what our mission is, to just continue to educate them, love them, and be consistent. So whatever they need, they have a great opportunity to be successful as they start their journeys in life.
So among the youth, Q, what do you see is the greatest need right now? And I know you're speaking specifically for the youth in Atlanta. What are you seeing the biggest concern or issue right now for them?
Just time and support. You know, these young men and young women, because my summer camp, I see, it's co-ed camp, 9 to 17 years old. I see them. I will say this, that I see it because my summer camp is a music arts leadership camp, right? So
Okay.
these children, they have so much talent, but they have nobody to believe in them. They have nobody to give them that push that says, hey, do you want to be a musician? I'll go get you a piano. You want to be a filmmaker? I'll go get you a camera. I'll help you learn how to write scripts and stuff. And so
Wow.
it's really just the time and just showing them that they are loved, they are necessary, and they are important. A lot of the reasons why our youth are disconnected and may act out is because they just need some attention. And so as long as there's breath in my body, I'm going to always try my best to give them that attention, show them that love, and then support them, whatever it is. It may not be what you want them to do, but if they can show you that they are consistent and they are committed to that, we got to support them.
There must be something in the water in Atlanta, because you guys, I don't even have enough time to list the number of celebrities and stars and people that have come out of Atlanta, and then people all across the country flocking to Atlanta, because it just seems to be a melting pot for, if you have something to express, here's where you can find someone to help you showcase your talents to the world. So I can imagine what that means to kids who are born and raised right there in Atlanta. So is there something in your childhood that made you realize, let me turn around and reach back and pull up as many people as I can?
Yes, I mean, when I think of my entire childhood, it was nothing but love and support. I'm the youngest of four. And so, my survival was, I had to rely on not only my parents, but my oldest siblings. And because of that, I was able to know what it's like to receive love. My mom would always tell me, as long as you make good grades, uh, I'll support you, whatever it is. So when I wanted to play sports, all right, put me in sports. When I wanted to sing, put me in the choir. Whatever I wanted to do, there was always somebody, whether it was my immediate family or if it was the community. I grew up in a time where the village raised the child. And so
Right.
not only if my mom or my dad couldn't make my games, my next door neighbor was there, or
Wow.
somebody that lived a few doors down was there calling my name, cheering me on until my parents got there. So with me seeing that, it's we have to continue the process and pay it forward. If somebody invested in me, which is why I always give love to Sean Combs, and our early managers, because they invested time, love, and support, and they saw something in us that maybe we didn't even see at that time. And because of that investment, because of that love and support, we were able to blossom into who we were. And so it's no way that I can receive that love and support and then just stop it. The
Right.
process has to continue. So somebody gave it to me, and it's my duty and my responsibility to pass it on to somebody else, and then hope that the process will continue to be paid forward. So to answer your question, when I look back at my entire life, it was nothing but somebody pushing me up, somebody supporting me, somebody investing in me, So how now that I have a platform and influence, I can't do the same thing. I don't understand how people of influence aren't givers and servants of the community. I don't understand it.
You seem so connected. I mean, and so passionate about giving back. When did you realize that you had the talent to sing, or has that been a lifelong aspiration to sing professionally?
As long as I can remember,
What?
music was always just in my. I believe it's in my DNA. My mom passed it down. My mom is the singer of the family.
Okay.
I can remember there would be times my mom and I would converse through singing. Like she'd say, "Go to give me some water," and she would sing it to me. I'd sing it back to her. Like that was one of our my childhood games that I would play with my mother. And
What?
as long as I can remember, I was in the choir singing. And before I knew it, I was leading songs in the choir, not just singing in the choir, but I was put up front. And the church is the great launching pad. It's the great exercise for confidence and just working on your chops. And so when I got to middle school, the confidence part was already there because I'm
Okay.
leading a song in church every Sunday. So
Now,
as
was
far
that
as I
cool
can
back
remember,
then? Now, was that cool back then to lead?
well, in church it was, but I was known
Right,
as church boy in my
right,
hood.
right.
Because when you live in the apartments, you got to walk through you darn near got to walk through the apartments to get to the parking lot, and so everybody would see us with our Sunday clothes on. Everybody would see us going to church on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then 3 times on Sunday. So
Oh,
I
wow.
was just known in the neighborhood
Wow.
as like that's just cute as the church boy. Um,
Cute.
and and
You said
and
7 days. That
oh
was
my
7 days?
gosh, oh yeah, Church of God in Christ don't play. It was church all day, every day.
I did not
Church
know.
all day, every day. And I'm gonna say this too, because I was known and viewed as that guy. The
Yes.
community here again, the community, they shielded me from some of the things that my peers were getting into. Even if I
Okay.
tried to hang out, nah, Quintus, go home. Nope. Even if I
Wow.
tried to, drink some alcohol with the nah, you don't do this. We're not. No, you can't do this. So how can I not be a servant of the community when I know there are real life accounts of people supporting me, shielding me? I know I'm here by the grace of God. I know I'm here because I had a praying grandmama and a praying mother and a praying community, and because a village had their hand in raising Quintus Parker.
So, with that being said, I have to ask you, going back a little bit, I believe you discovered at 18? I know that you were performing before Puffy or P-Diddy found you, but can you kind of tell us that story right up to how, he found you?
Yes. So we formed the group in high school, and we were performing locally in Atlanta, just in talent shows and showcases and all of that. And we built somewhat of a buzz in Atlanta. And our management at the time took us to every Atlanta-based record company there was. Rowdy Records with Dallas Austin, So Def, Jermaine Dupri, LaFace,
Wow.
and everybody they passed. And so our manager was like, "Well, I know this guy. He's a young guy, just got in the game. He has his rapper Biggie Smalls and Craig Mack. He's coming to Atlanta. He's a friend of mine, and y'all be ready. So let's get everything we know." So that whole week we practiced everything we knew. And Puffy was at the club 112, and as he was exiting the club, we walked up to him. Duran had the keyboard, put it on the back of somebody's trunk, and we sang everything from John
What?
P. Key and Commissioned and the Winans to
Yes.
Jodeci, Boys to Men, Take Six. Like that was our chance. And Puffy has always been like this mover and shaker. So although we had the keyboard on the trunk, at some point Puffy was like, "Yo, just walk with me." So we're trying to
Okay.
walk to his limo, still singing.
You're
And
kidding me.
no, no, I'm not kidding. And so 2 weeks later, he flew back to Atlanta to do an official audition. And that's when he decided, like, yeah, I want to sign these guys. And 2 weeks later, we signed our Bad Boy Entertainment record deal. And in 1996, our first single came out, and I was 18 years old.
18 years old.
17 years old, 17.
So Q, how does something like that change your life back then? And I know, we've heard the rumors of contracts, and oftentimes you'll hear a lot of African American artists who were famous as far as being well known, but not financially. So how did that really change your life?
Wow. It changed. Oh, man, it changed my life. And in a major way. Financially, it provided me a way to, take care of my family, look out for my mom and dad, but also to fulfill a dream. Because I was that young man who looked at the Grammys and BET Video Music Soul and saw Boyz II Men and Jodeci and said, man, I would love to be them one day. And Puffy just provided that. He provided that opportunity for us. It does change your life because you go from, just knowing about your own surroundings, not really having a whole lot of experiences, to now being catapulted into this world of adulthood, and you're only 16 years old. So that was an adjustment. Moving from the South to New York was an adjustment to record our
Sure.
album. And so, those were our most impressionable years because while everybody else was going to college, we were 17-year-olds, getting our feet wet in the music industry, on the road, on tours, and, living by ourselves in New York City, in Manhattan. Like, we weren't prepared for that, and we just had to learn it, like, on the job training, basically.
Are you guys still close, the group?
Right now, everybody is just kind of doing their own thing, but I will say this: we're brothers, and nothing will ever change that. We put out 6 albums. We've been a group for 20, almost 25 years. And at the moment, the group isn't active as all 4 original members, but the brand
Okay.
is the brand. The brand is the brand, and the love is always there. Some of my biggest life lessons came because of me being in the group. A lot of my first financial accomplishments came because of my connection to the group. Everything that I've learned vocally came from me singing next to these 3 guys on a daily basis. And so I don't care what you may hear in the media, what's going on. The love is just always there. Those we brothers for life, man. We all bleed 112, and it's nothing can take that away.
I literally remember every time when I think of 112, the songs play in my head. It was happy, good music. It was dance music. It was definitely in the club. I mean,
Yes,
112 was just definitely it. And of course, 112 and P. Diddy, those two went hand in hand. When you said one, you kind of said the other one. And I love hearing that you have love for your brothers. And sometimes when you're
absolutely,
really close to family, there's disagreements, but like you said, there's always love in the family. I
absolutely.
think it's really great to kind of hear that. Before I ask you this, what did you do with your first big fact check? The first one that you remember that was substantial. What did you do first? What did you purchase? What did you invest? What did you do?
Well, the very first one, which was not substantial at all, uh, I I gave it to my mom. I was still living at home with my mom, and my dad, and so I was getting a lot of pressure because I passed on a full ride scholarship to Clemson University in order to
What?
sign the record deal. And so my parents were looking at me like, all right, what are you doing? And my dad is one of those from old school. Once you graduate, you either gonna get a job and get your own place, but you're not gonna be here, just staying here. And so because I graduated in June of '94, but we didn't move to New York to start recording the album until March of '96. So that means I
Okay.
kind of sat for a whole year doing nothing. And so when we got our first advance, that was my way of just telling my mom and my dad, I appreciate you guys still supporting me. Although it wasn't easy and it wasn't, you know, a cakewalk, I appreciate it. So pretty much the majority of my first advance check, which wasn't a lot, went to my parents.
So, I'm glad that you said the advance. You used the word advance instead of necessarily a paycheck. For those aspiring artists out there, is there anything about the fact the money, like I think, again, when people think that when the world sees you on TV or they see an album, that all of a sudden you're instantly rich, or if you see a video and they're, showing the bling bling, it's not, you have a lot of bills to pay before it comes down to you. Is that correct? Was that a shock to you?
It was a shock. Yes, it was a shock. But I'm so glad that we had an attorney that educated us. Although we did not take her advice because our desire to just want to be in the game outweighed her legal advice. And in hindsight, we should have listened because we would not have signed the initial record contract that we signed. But at the end of the day, I just don't believe life is about the mistakes you make. I think life is just life, and you learn from those. And so, had we not signed that deal, we wouldn't have been signed to Bad Boy. Had we not been signed to Bad Boy, we may not have gotten the opportunity. And so, it's just about being smart. And so, what I tell the young generation is know the business, understand your worth, know how to leverage who you are, and know the business, because at the end of the day, this is the business of music. And it's not just I want to sing and I want to produce and I want to perform. No, this is a business, and you have to treat it as such, because you will find yourself in a situation where everybody is getting paid, and then you see the top number, but then you'll see what's left.
That's
Then you
right.
got to pay your taxes on what's
That's
left.
right.
You got to pay your team what's left. Then you got to split
Right.
what's left 4 ways.
That's right.
And it wasn't until we got out of that contract to where we started to really, really see the benefits of us owning our music and our songs and all of that stuff, and now being able to utilize our gifts and our talents, turn that into ownership. So now we can residually be pretty much taken care of for the rest of our lives, as well as our legacies.
Generational wealth. Q, I think there is a level of intoxication with fame. And I think the average person, a grown adult, may forego what they see in black and white. I just want to get there. And it is important to pay attention to what you see black and white. But you're right. Most likely, if you would have said, no, I want this, and you've already said a couple of record labels passed you by, you probably wouldn't have gotten signed. Maybe he would have came back, maybe not. So I mean, it's a catch-22 in a sense. It's a catch-22 in a sense.
Yeah.
Now, where did you meet your wife?
So I met Charlinda here in Atlanta. My wife is from Richmond, Virginia, and my best friend is Richard Wingo from Jagged Edge. It's so funny when people
Oh
hear
my
that, because
goodness.
they think that we're like such rivals and all of that type of stuff. But I was in a group with Wingo before I joined 112, before he joined Jagged Edge. And I mean, we go
Okay.
back like high school. And so one day I called him doing what I typically would do. I think we were in town at the same time. I called him like, yo, where are you? He said, I'm at Dikembe Mutombo's salon. My
Okay.
wife and her twin sister, they ran the actual.
I think your mic went out. Can you hear me? Uh-oh. I think we may have lost you. I can see your mouth movement. Try it again. Oh, I can't. You want to try it again? Yeah, I can't hear you. You want to log out and connect back in? Yeah, I can't. Can you hear me? No, you can't. You can't hear me either. So do you want to disconnect and connect back in, like sign out and come back in? We can hold tight for you. Still nothing? Nope, nothing at all. If you want to, you can hang up. If you want to hang up and then call back, and it'll connect you. All right, so you're watching now NNPA. I'm your host, Taylor Thomas. It is fire. And we were talking, and will be talking to Q Parker. Yeah, remember him From 112, yes, Atlanta born and raised. He has been really giving us some great information about how he was discovered by P-Diddy or Puffy, depending on when you heard about him. Also about his amazing nonprofit organization he has Brothers of Atlanta, United of Atlanta. He has Couples United of Atlanta, and then he has Sisters United of Atlanta, all nonprofits encouraging people to get together, love on each other, encourage each other to talk and communicate. He lost his signal, but he's going to connect back with us in just a few minutes. I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in each and every week. By the way, next week, DC, DMV, I have something very, very special for you. We have the Legends of Go-Go. We'll be right here next Friday. We're not even doing it on Thursday. We're doing it next Friday. So I hope you stick and stay and join us next Friday for Fire right here on Black Press USA and NNPA Fire. We're tuning in now, and our guest is Q Parker. He lost audio, so he's going to be connecting back with us. If you have a question or comment that you'd like to pose to him, just simply put it right there. The producers will pull it up and I'll read it to you. I know you guys remember 112 because I definitely remember. If you're in the DMV area, I remember, let's see, which club would it have been? I wanted to say chapter 3, but I don't think I guess maybe chapter 3, maybe. But yeah, we love to hear back from you and ask any questions that you may have. For Q Parker, who's joining us from Atlanta, he's actually leaving the studio and sitting in his vehicle talking to us, because he said traffic in Atlanta is pretty heavy. We're going to see if we can get our producer to connect him. Betty, questions. We hear so many small support groups speaking how they are so involved while don't see evidence of that. Yeah, so it is kind of great. I did not know about this until I pulled up Q's bio. Like I said, he has Brothers United of Atlanta. He has Couples United of Atlanta. He has Sisters United of Atlanta. And he also has what he calls Official Bridge Project, which he said, since he has a strong background church, he went as a child 7 days a week. And because he did R&B, hey, Q.
Okay.
He started the Bridge Project. How you doing? Can you hear me? By the way, if you're looking at that hat that he has on, Born Again, that is his line. So he has T-shirts, he said hats, sweatshirts, sweatpants. Q, you froze up on me. We'll see if we can get him back on. So Q is a husband, he's a father, he's a singer, philanthropist, it seems, as well, giving back to area kids in Atlanta. I see he's trying to come through now. We thank you guys for sticking and staying with us. Hey, Q. Can you hear me okay?
Okay, we back.
All right. Yeah,
I got you now.
I was just telling your fans, a couple of them, one posted that you hear about artists, but you never hear about them giving back and them learning about you having, Sisters United of Atlanta, Brothers United of Atlanta, Couples United of Atlanta, and Youth United of Atlanta. They were giving you some love about doing that and not doing it just because the cameras were on, which is pretty impressive. We were talking about, your wife, and you were telling us how you met her. Can we resume that?
Okay, so I called Wingo. I'm like, yo, where are you? Let's go grab some lunch or whatever, what we would normally do. And he said that he was at Dikembe Mutombo's salon, and my wife and her twin sister, they controlled the nail side of Dikembe's salon, and my friend Wingo, he had an appointment there, so I went there. I met him. He actually gave me his nail appointment, and then Charlinda ended up doing my nails. And I think it was just kind of like there was immediate, she never had any interest in dating an entertainer or a celebrity or whatever. And I don't know. I think it was just something about years. And then in 2002, we were married, and we just celebrated 18 years this past August.
18 years.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
18 years. Okay, so how many kids do you have?
We have two.
Two. And
Yep,
boy or girl?
boy and a girl. Boy and girl. Got both.
Are any of them
Boy and a
interested
girl.
in dad's correct? Are any of them interested in your industry or your field?
Well, my son is he's really connected to the music. Uh, whether that translates to him wanting to be an artist or I don't know. But I will say if he decides to go down that route, I will support him. But I will also make sure he truly understands the business. I treat him the same way I would treat somebody that I would be mentoring, as making sure that they are fully equipped knowledge wise about this industry. Now it's totally different now than when I first started, but I've adjusted to this new way of doing the music business, and so I would want him to really truly understand it before he make a decision like that. But I mean, it's in him. It's in him all day. It's in him.
Wow. So Q, what can we expect to see from you coming up in the next, before the year's out or next year? What are you doing?
I mean, I'm a servant. I love serving my people. I love being active in the community. So at the end of this year in December, well, you'll always see me doing things. I'm always, if you follow me on any of my social pages, you see that I'm always doing things, whether I'm hosting events, whether I am in the studio, whether I'm touring, whether I am doing my community stuff with the men, women, children. And then in this December, I was speaking about the caroling event that I do for the senior citizens community and the elderly, where I bring about 10 of my friends together and we get a room full of senior citizens and we just sing Christmas carols. We feed them, we give them the whole red carpet, paparazzi experience, and
I
we just
love
love
it.
on them for about 2 hours. This year we can't do it in person, and so we're going to do it virtually this year. So
Well, you might have to make that available for other communities to see that. Oh,
really excited.
Jatea
This year, the beauty about it this year, oh, I was saying the beauty about the world will be able to stream in
to see that program.
and all
Q, one
okay, there
of
we go.
your fans,
Yes.
Jatea, I hope I'm saying her name right. Jatea, she wants to know what's your favorite 112 song?
I think that's my cousin. That's my cousin Jatel. What's up, babe? My favorite 112 song. We wrote the songs, so they're like a child of yours. So you can't say you like a child one more than the other. And so I always answer this question in terms of the most special,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And the most special song of ours, I would say, is "Only You" because it was the very first song that introduced us to the world. Without that song, we wouldn't have started our career, and you guys wouldn't, have grown to love us the way that you did over the years. So I always go from which is the most special, and I say "Only You" because it was the one that introduced us to the world.
So Q, are you a
And
writer
that's a
as well?
moment that we got to share it big as well. Absolutely, yes, ma'am. I'm a writer as well. Yes, a lot of the songs that 112 you heard of 112. I, along with my brothers, we wrote them. But then I also did some writing outside of 112. Kelly Price, Keisha Cole, Pink,
Yes.
Osley Brothers, New Edition. I love being able to express my thoughts and feelings through music.
Okay, Q, I've got a text, obviously, from one of my friends wanting to know, do you remember the first time that you heard your song on the radio? Where were you and what were you doing?
Wow, absolutely, I remember. It was a duplicate of the Five Heartbeats movie, where everybody just hovered around the radio in disbelief, like, wow, we finally made it. Hearing your song on the radio, trying to get to that accomplishment. And so when you hear it, it's like a surreal moment. And so we were at Daddy's House Studios in New York. That's Sean Combs' studio, finishing the album, because we'll release the recording of the album, and the receptionist ran in the studio. Guys, Hot 97 in New York was playing the song on the radio. And so everybody that comes out, snatch the mic, the headphones off of your ears, run out into the receptionist area, and all of us are just hovered around this little boom box that she had underneath the desk, listening to Only You.
Oh, that is so exciting. That is so exciting. Wow. I mean, I am terrible with remembering dates, but clearly you don't forget anything, Q. You are on point when it comes to remembering things and times. I'm just really excited really to have you on the show and for you to share your message of unity and peace and love. How can someone reach out to you? I know that you have a number of nonprofits. We talked about the one that you have from Brothers United of Atlanta and Sister, and also your official Bridge project. How can people reach out to you?
Well, I'm on all social media platforms, Q Parker 112, the foundation, Q Parker.
I think it's breaking up again. I don't know why. It's
to know exactly where I am, how to get in contact with me, or have an idea of throughout this world.
Q, I have to ask you this question because I'd be remiss if I didn't. So everyone, it seems like there's a resurgence of great artists from back in the day. Is there a call to bring 112 on the stage? We love to see y'all again.
Well, right now, the group, the active version of 112 right now, Mike and Slim is holding down the brand 112. They've added some dancers with them as well. Duran and I are really focusing on our individual endeavors at the moment. But again, like I said, that's not to say that down the line that won't change. But I will say the brand is the brand. And so if you get an opportunity to support the brand, you support the brand, whatever version you get. If that's Q and Slim, if that's Mike and Slim, if that's all four of us, whatever. You guys have grown with us, and it's almost like we're in a marriage, and you don't stop supporting the marriage because of some things that may be uncomfortable. So again, I just like to tell people, you guys have played an important part in us being who we are. And so I would love for you to support that, whether it's collectively and individually, because we're all doing individual things. And so if you get a chance to see Mike somewhere, go support him. You see Slim, go support him. You see all four of us, come support of us. But if you don't, still support the brand.
Okay, I'm getting ready to put you on the hot seat now, Q. So could you see 112 in a versus battle? And if so, who would you like to be up against?
In a battle?
Yeah, the verses, yes.
Well, we did a versus. 112 was on versus against Jagged Edge, because so often.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say that. Okay. All right, so I missed
so
that.
Often,
Okay.
we are always pitted against each other. And so yes. It was a really, really good show.
I think those are so fun.
The fans really, really got an opportunity to just, relive those moments of the favorite 112 songs and the favorite Jagged Edge songs. Yeah. So it was really good. It was good. It was exciting. It was fun.
I think that's an ingenious idea, honestly, who came up with that, only because, like you just said, I see it as fun. I use the word battle lightly. I say that respectively because it does. Absolutely. Each time you hear someone, you literally flash back in time and remember what you were doing, if you were in college, if you were in the club. So it puts a smile on your face, especially if you know the music.
Absolutely, it does. Absolutely, it does.
So listen, I may not have mentioned this before or asked you about this before, but directly, how has the pandemic affected you and your music and the business? I know you talked about your nonprofits having to meet virtually, but as far as the other things that you do, how's the pandemic affected you?
It's been a major adjustment for everybody. Where we have been accustomed to traveling and doing shows and having that one-on-one contact and that feel for each other, we've all had to adjust to doing the shows virtually and doing a lot of Zoom calls. But I look at this COVID time, minus those people that have lost their lives, loved ones that have been lost. I look at this time as an opportunity for us all to just slow down.
Yes.
So often we get caught up into this whole, I'm just grinding, man, and I'm, no days off, and man, I'm over here getting it in. When in reality, we have to live a balanced life. And I think what COVID did, it made a lot of us slow down and really assess how have your actions been effective. And to be honest with you, I had to ask myself that same question. Yeah, your day is filled, but how effective were your days then? And so now I'm able to, I don't do as much, but I get much more accomplished because now my movements are efficient and effective. And I don't know, had COVID not happened, I'd still be in the rat race. I'd still be, just busy, and not sitting down. And a lot of times that also has supported when I talk about the mental stability. Sometimes we just need to sit down. We need to sit down and just allow those mental breaks. And I don't know if I or many of my colleagues and peers would have gotten that pause and that pit stop because we were bred to, man, won't turn them down but our collars. No, we got to go get it. We got to go get it. Grind. When that mindset has gotten a lot of people in the hospital, that mindset has caused people to be dehydrated at times, just not doing checkups and all of that kind of stuff. So when I look back at this whole corona, the pandemic and everything, like I said, minus those that have lost loved ones and all of that, I look at it as a really, really good time for me because it allowed me to slow down and just enjoy the slowed pace.
I think a lot of people echo that sentiment. And I think a lot of people also found out really what was important to them during this time. I mean, we're still in the midst of it. In fact, I think it may be a third wave of it, but I think a lot of people started reevaluating, like you said, what they were spending time doing and how they weren't taking time for themselves or their family. Even though they may be working for them, they weren't spending time with them. So I think you're absolutely on point for that. Q, for those that are just tuning in as we kind of close things out with you tonight, your hat says Born Again. That is your line. Where can they pick up either a hat? I think you said shirts and socks. You have things of that nature as well, right?
Yes, bornagainculture.com. And on social media is Born Again Culture.
Born Again Culture. Now, is there any gospel projects on the horizon for you?
Listen, I just show up and, the beauty about where I am now musically and just as a businessman and an entrepreneur is I can do what I please. And so if I wake up tomorrow and want to do a full gospel album, then I'll do it. If I want to do an R&B album, I'll do it. But again, this bridge project, it blends both of these worlds. And so it's a collaborative album of your top R&B and gospel men that are a part of this project, from Todd Delaney, Travis Green, Jonathan McReynolds, Zacardi Cortez, Genuine, Tank, Music Soul Child. And so there is a sense of inspiration in the music on the album. And it's the perfect blending of inspirational and R&B. So you can get some of that if you're wanting to hear Q Parker sing some gospel. You'll get a little bit there. But in terms of me doing a bona fide, proper gospel album, who knows? Just stay tuned.
All right, Q Parker, I cannot thank you enough for taking time out to talk to us and to learn how much you're pouring into your community and how much you love your church and religion. And I wish you much success. I look forward to seeing you back on the stage sometime soon, but I really have to thank you for joining us for tonight's program, Fire.
I thank you so much. Thank you.
No, I really do. And listen, next week, DMV Go-Go. We have the Legends of Go-Go going to be on the program, not Thursday, but on Friday. So Q Parker, thank you so very much. We also want to thank James Chaney with Concert Connect for making this happen. Listen, until next week, God bless and goodbye.
Yes.